So my choice of book was Walden Two by B.F. Skinner, and the summary of this book is Walden Two is kind of a utopia placed in the middle of post-war United States. The book was written by Skinner it was written in 1945, published in 1947. Um, and the leader of this utopia is named Fraser, and he's a scientist of sorts that studies human behavior. The book is written in first person by Professor Burris, a former classmate of Fraser, who goes to Walden Two to see for himself of the supposed utopia. At Walden Two, Burris and the five other guests accompanying him, Castle, Barbara, Steve, and Rogers and Mary, stay at Walden Two for 3 days, learning of the behavioral studies going on. At Walden Two, many things are out of the usual. Men and women are equal, unusual for the time it was written, and nobody makes money. Rather, they have credits, and they are nearly completely self-efficient. Credits are kind of like credit hours, I guess you would call it, where you have to get a certain amount every week. Typically, the typical Walden 2 person works about 4 hours a day, and the credit hours range from like 2.5 for sewage work to zero point 0.5 for picking flowers. You can do anything and you would get credit hours, but it ranges from different credit hours, so it really depends what you decide to do. In the end, I don't really know if this is a spoiler, but I didn't really think it was because I saw it coming. But everyone other than Castle, Rogers, and Mary all stay. Barbara and oh wait, no, it's the other way around. Castle and Barbara and Rogers don't stay. Steve and Mary are a couple; they stay, and then the main character, Professor Burris, ends up going to the train station with Castle and then deciding that he's going to go back around and stay at Walden Two. So the rating of this book that I would give it would be a 5 out of 5 for enjoyment and a 5 out of 5 for content. I really enjoyed this book. Like, I just found it fascinating. I enjoyed reading it. I also listened to it on audiobook, and the narrator was amazing. But I really enjoyed reading it, and the content was just so good, even though I do not think that a utopia of this kind would ever last in the real world. I mean, maybe in the 1940s, but not today. It's too big. I would definitely recommend this book. I found it fascinating. I really enjoyed it, and I can't even explain how much I loved it. If you like psychology or science or behavioral studies, it's a great book to read. As I said, I'm a psychology nut, so I really enjoyed it. And examples of human nature. In the book, Fraser is a behavioral scientist, and that's basically how you change the way you behave to suit others. And to do this, he does a bunch of different things. He figures out how to kind of get rid of the whole family system, which is unique for that time. He gets rid of it by having a nursery for the kids that the parents don't really get to see. They don't have to take care of them. And then they have the same thing for the kids, and then they kind of encourage the children not to take a lot from one person, even their parents. So it's just fascinating, as I said. Getting rid of all of the bad aspects of human nature is kind of the point of Walden 2, including the Walden Code, which is a set of rules where stuff like it can range from no gossiping to don't kill anyone to don't commit adultery. It's just a long list of rules, basically, things that you typically wouldn't see in normal society, but worked for Walden 2. And their marriage and divorce rate was actually pretty low. They got married, their divorce rate, their marriage rate is high, but they get married typically in Walden 2 around 16 or 17, which is our age, just blows my mind. And the women usually start having children at 18. Ugh. It's weird, but Fraser explains it. Basically, if a woman is 18, she starts having kids. Most women typically have 4 kids in their lifetime. So they'll be done with their childbearing by the age of 22. And they have excellent doctors and everything, so they don't have to worry about an oopsie daisy baby or anything. So it was just fascinating to read and learn about all of the aspects of human nature that they wanted to get rid of, and it's just fascinating.